Welcome back to the XWO Gaming Guide to Dark Souls Level 1 Edition. In this episode, we will be defeating the Capra Demon and making our way to the depths. So, from Firelink Shrine, make your way up the hill. Through the tunnel, into the Undead Burg, and down to the Undead Merchant. Once you reach the Undead Merchant, go ahead and buy the complete set of chain armour. This will come in handy for when we fight the Capra Demon. Bear in mind, equipping this set in full will slow our roll down. Take off your tattered robes and equip the chain set. Then admire how great you look. From there, make your way back to the Undead Parish. You should know the way by now. Once you've reached the bonfire, make sure you rest and then continue down the stairs. Speak to the blacksmith again. And this time we want to upgrade every piece of the chain armour set to +3. So buy enough Titanite shards to do this, and then upgrade the armour. Make sure you also have enough souls to complete these upgrades. As you can see, it does take quite a lot of shards to increase the proficiency of this armour set. Once you've got this set to +3, you don't need to upgrade it anymore, because we will only be using this armour set for one boss fight. From there, make your way back to where you fought the Taurus Demon. Once you reach this tower, instead of going down here, we're going to fight our toughest opponent yet. Down here is Havel the Rock. This guy can absolutely destroy you. He's almost certainly a one-hit kill, so make sure you do not get hit by that dragon tooth that he's wielding. Keep your distance and constantly fish for a backstab. For a level 1 character, this enemy does have quite a high health pool, so you will be here for a while battling him. As long as you keep away and fish for the backstabs, eventually he'll go down. The reason we want to defeat him is because he holds a highly valuable item. Never get greedy with this guy because he will one-shot you. Again, I was saved by the blue tier stone ring, but if I wasn't wearing it, I would have been dead. As you can see, it took 3 Estus flasks to get myself back to full health there. So just make sure you're playing this one extremely safe. As you can see, his dragon tooth has ridiculous reach. And I'm now left in a position where if I take another hit from him, I'm probably dead. Greed almost got the better of me there, but I managed to roll out the way at the last minute. I've mentioned it a few times, but never get greedy in this game, you will be punished. Especially with enemies like Havel, it's much easier to just play patiently and fish for the backstab. Eventually he'll go down, point down at him for good measure, and he drops Havel's ring. This ring allows you to increase your equip load, so I would recommend removing the blue tier stone ring and equipping Havel's ring. Now we can quick roll again in the chain armor set. So make your way up to where you defeated the Taurus demon and continue on. This time we aren't going to cross the bridge that the Drake set on fire, but we're going to open the locked door with the basement key that we obtained. Open the door and go down the ladder. It's a long way down. Continue on and you'll be presented with a crossroads. First, go up the stairs. And open this gate, and we finally have a shortcut back to the Undead Burg's bonfire. So go ahead and rest up. From here, use 2 humanity, reverse your hollowing, and kindle the bonfire. We're going to need as much Estus as possible for this next boss fight. The next boss fight is incredibly cheap, and no matter how skilled you are, it can sometimes catch you off guard. We want to be able to heal as much as possible. So kill a couple of these guys just so they don't follow you across the bridge. And then make your way back down the shortcut we just opened. As you can see, with our +5 weapon, we're now one-shotting these hollow soldiers. But don't get too comfortable, because we're now going into an area where the enemies are slightly tougher. From here, go down these stairs, but take it slowly, because there are dogs waiting for you at the bottom. These enemies inflict bleed damage, and that meter that just popped up on the screen, if that reaches full, you will suffer bleed damage, which I believe is 20% of your health. But I could be wrong on that. Either way, you do not want that meter to be completely filled up. Once you've killed the 3 dogs, make a right past the fire and continue down here. Several hollows with torches wait for you. Bait them out one at a time because they can gang up on you and mess you up. As always, use some fireballs if things get too hairy for you. Collect the twin humanities. This item does exactly what it says on the tin and is worth 2 humanity instead of 1 if you consume it. Next, go to this door and listen for somebody's cries for help. If you bought the residence key, you can unlock the door, roll through some of these barrels, and speak to the NPC.
Brilliant. You opened the door for me. Thank you. I'm saved. I thought I might never escape. I am Griggs of Vinheim, a sorcerer of the school. I am much of
This guy is Griggs, and he is the NPC merchant character for sorcerers. We won't be using him throughout this playthrough. However, it's worth rescuing him because later on we will kill him for a few items. Do not kill him until I say so.
I have an important task at hand. Oh, hello. I have my sword beside.
As always with NPCs, make sure you exhaust his dialogue. And then continue forwards. There's no hidden path there, that's just to show you that some players can leave troll messages. So don't always trust the messages on the ground if you're playing online. As you move forward, you'll get ambushed by 3 assassins. These enemies cause bleed damage and they throw projectiles at you, which also increase the bleed build-up. These can be quite tricky to separate, but do your best to deal with them one at a time. They are also weak to bleed damage themselves, so make sure you're using your reinforced club. Lure them away if you can, Sometimes you can get one of them to follow you up here. I was unlucky and all of them came up. They can also backstab you and parry and riposte you. So you have to play it extra safe with these guys. A jumping R2 attack can take them out. Whenever they take that stance, they will parry your attack, so make sure you don't attack them. And when they're finally dealt with, go back the way you came. Once you reach this section here, don't just sprint on ahead, edge forward little by little and try and attract the dogs that are at the back of the hallway. We want to take these out before we trigger the next ambush, otherwise things can get quite chaotic. And since everything can build up that bleed damage meter, if you're surrounded by assassins and dogs, it's highly likely that you will bleed out. So as you go down, 3 more assassins will jump out. And once again I got lucky with a jumping R2 to take 2 of them down. Kill the final dog, and for the time being we're now safe. Go into the rooms that the assassins came from, because some of them have some useful items. The fog gate there leads to the next boss, which is the Capra Demon, but we're not going to go through it just yet. I'm just backtracking here to make sure I haven't missed any items. And I missed a mail breaker back there. Again, we won't be using that weapon, but if you like picking things up, why not go back and get it? Continuing on, we're not going through the fog gate just yet. We're going to take the stairs down just to the right of it. Be prepared for another ambush. As you can see, there's one assassin in front of us, and there's a sneaky one hiding off just to the left. Try and get that one's attention first. And definitely try and stop them before they heal up. If they take the parry stance, throw a fireball at them and you will one-shot them. Keep going down the passageway and collect this item, which is another large soul of a lost undead. Run past the door on the left and go through the archway here. Run up the stairs and kill the archer to our right. Up the stairs is a dead end, so go through this doorway. To our right is the female undead merchant. Speak to her and look at her wares. I would recommend buying at least 5 of each moss clump. I also buy one extra of each because we will be trading some of these away for some useful items shortly. It's worth picking up some charcoal pine resin too, because this does some extra damage to the next boss. I picked up 9, but feel free to buy as many as you like. From the female undead merchant, turn around and run down the hallway and unlock the gate. I'm sure you can guess where this shortcut leads. And if you guessed Firelink Shrine, you're absolutely right. So unlock the gate for another shortcut to Firelink, kill the rat, and don't bother resting up. Next, return to the fog gate, apply some charcoal pine resin, and let's fight the Capra Demon. Now you'll see a transition there because he killed me instantly as soon as I walked through the gate, but I didn't want to include that in my footage. This boss is incredibly cheap. You'll also notice he has 2 dogs in there with him too. It's imperative that you take those out as quickly as possible. I'm struggling with them here, but with the reinforced club and the charcoal pine resin, you should be able to one-shot them. With the dogs taken care of, it's just you against the Capra Demon. You can run up those stairs and continue to hit him with plunging attacks. I opt not to use this strategy, and instead I go for a one-on-one fight. As you can see, this guy doesn't mess about, and as usual, roll away from the attacks if you can and try and hit him from behind. Keep on rolling and attack him when you get an opening. And just like the last bosses, eventually he'll go down. Once you defeat the Capra Demon, you obtain the key to the depths, and we can continue on our way once more. At this point, I would recommend quickly running back to Firelink Shrine and resting at the bonfire. So once you've rested at the bonfire, make your way back to the Capra Demon's arena. And now we're going to make our way to the depths. Head down the stairs. And this time we're going to ignore the shortcut that leads to Firelink, and we're going to open the locked door, which is just on our right up here. Open the door and go down the stairway. Roll through the barrels and crates and continue going down. The depths is absolutely filled with these hollow soldiers, and as usual try and bait them one by one because they will gang up on you. You should know the drill by now with these guys. Just take your time and there won't be any bother. As you enter this room, there's more hollows, some holding torches and some holding broken swords. Continue fighting them one by one and don't get surrounded. These guys are slightly more aggressive than the ones in the Undead Burg. As you can see, I almost bit the dust there because I got careless. Do not get surrounded. Clear this entire area out of hollow soldiers. And then go down the next staircase. At the bottom of the stairs, a dog will be waiting for you. Take it out quickly. And heal up if you need to. Down the stairs is another dog. And the butcher. Take the dog out first. And then get the butcher's attention. Lure him back upstairs for more space to fight. Eventually he'll follow you up. But if he doesn't, just go down and fish for the backstab. It will take a few backstabs to take him down, but as long as you aren't careless, like I'm trying to be, you should be able to take him out. If you can get the parry off, feel free to do so because it kills him a bit quicker. Once he's down, open the chest he was guarding and collect the large ember. There's a shortcut behind these barrels, we're not going to be taking it, so ignore that. The large ember at some point will be returned to Andre the blacksmith, and he will then be able to increase our weapons and armour beyond their current limits. Continue on down the stairs and into the water. Our movement in the water will be restricted, you won't be able to sprint, and down here there are 2 dogs and another hollow soldier. Take all of these enemies out. The parry there was overkill, but I do enjoy doing it. Next, walk up the debris here, through the broken wall, and continue down the passage. Keep an eye out behind you, because another butcher will spawn in. Fish for the backstab as usual, but bear in mind, The area in which to fight him is a lot narrower than before. Don't just stand there like I did. I think I was thinking about a parry and then I never did it. It's much safer to fish for a backstab. This is just to show you that mistakes can be made. I'll say it regularly, but you don't have to be perfect. Anybody can beat this game at level 1, and that's what this guide is for. Go into the butcher's hideout and roll into these barrels. Do not attack them. And then talk to the NPC. Make sure you exhaust his dialogue, because we will be needing this NPC when he goes back to Firelink Shrine, because he is the Pyromancer's merchant.
Oh, hello there. Very pleased to you. Oh, hello there. Very
Once you've exhausted his dialogue, continue down the passageway. Now that there's no butcher to deal with, and all of the enemies up here are dealt with, we can go through this door and continue on through the depths. Go down this stairway, and there's an item to collect on your left. Don't collect it because it's bait, and as soon as you go under there to collect it, a giant slime will fall down onto your head and cause some damage to you. I'll demonstrate. The slime enemies are quite tanky because we don't have the correct damage type to deal with them yet. So just put a beating on this one and then collect the item it was guarding. A soul of a nameless soldier. I personally don't feel that item is worth taking the damage for, so you can ignore that if you don't want to collect it. Next in this hallway you can see plenty of slimes on the ceiling. Bait them one by one, defeat them if you want, or just run past them. And they also drop large titanite shards and green titanite shards. We'll be farming for those later, but this isn't the place, and I will put up an appropriate video at the right time. For now, just deal with the rest of these slimes, and the hollow soldier that's waiting for us at the end. This guy can hurt you pretty badly too, but once he's down, go through the door that he was guarding. The door will open with the master key, and you have reached the bonfire of the depths, so light it up, take a rest, and use 2 humanity to restore your human form and kindle this bonfire. And that wraps this episode up. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content, and we will be back with episode 5. Once again, this has been the XWO Guide to Dark Souls Level 1.